Hello, it's Rob from HiPy here. Today I am going to be showing you how to read in an Excel spreadsheet into Python using the amazing Pandas module for Python. I have got some test data which looks like this. So if you're a physicist, feel free to get very excited right now because this is a set of X-ray fluorescence data. If you are not a physicist, and have no idea what X-ray fluorescence is, then don't worry, it's just data. All the principles I'm going to show you in this video are applicable to any data set. Okay, I just want to get this into my Jupyter notebook. So how do we do that? Well, let's start a fresh Jupyter notebook. We're over here. I'm going to import this amazing library. If you want more information on pandas and a more gentle introduction, go to the hypy.uk website. We have some excellent starting guides for pandas, but right now we're going to dive right in. I'm going to import that as PD, and I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to call it df, which is essentially called what I mean by that is a data frame. Call it whatever you like, and I'm going to call a pandas function which is called read Excel. And at this point, I need to make sure that this Excel spreadsheet is in the same working directory as my Jupyter notebook. Okay, now I know that's true, but you should take care at this point to make sure that's the case. Otherwise, you're going to get an error. The file name I know is xrf test data.xlsx. I'm going to specify the extra parameter header equals none. Pandas by default will read your the first row of the Excel spreadsheet into a set of column headers. I don't really want that in this case because it doesn't really make sense to do that. So I'm going to use this parameter. Also, by default, Pandas only reads the first sheet of your spreadsheet. So if you want to read a different sheet, let's say I want to go for copper, I need to specify the sheet name here. That's sheet underscore name equals, let's do copper. Okay, I'm going to read that. Okay, it hasn't complained, so I think it's done it. df, there you go, brilliant. Now, so there are two scans here. I can see two columns or two sets of two. So I've got an X and a Y here, and another scan which is an X and a Y here. Now, again, if you're not a physicist, don't worry what that is. But you've got some scan parameter data here, which is related specifically to the equipment used to make that measurement. So I know that here the sample is copper. The recording time is 108 seconds. The difference between these two scans is one is scanned at a gain of 4 and one at a 2. And again, if you don't know what that means, don't worry. The important thing here is I've got two columns, one called the channel number and another called the channel impulses. This is essentially channel number and intensity here. Okay, so I really want to plot this as a set of X values and this is a set of Y values. So I want to filter this data frame and create a new data frame. Let's call that copper 1, where I only get everything from this row onwards for this column and everything from this row onwards for this column. Okay, and that will be my X and Y values that I'm going to plot. So to do that, I can use, so if I define a new variable called copper1, if I call that data frame that I've already read the data into, and I use the iloc method. Now the iloc method allows me to specify subsets of data by the row and column coordinates, okay, which is a pair of values I'm going to put into square brackets. That's quite important, use square brackets. So I want everything from row 10 onwards. So what does that look like? Well, that looks like this, 10 and a colon. So that's row 10, everything to the end of the file. And then I want, in terms of columns, I want everything from the beginning, so from 0, so I put another colon there, up until column 2, okay? And if I run that, no complaints, looks good. I run that again. There you go, I've got the data. Now I can plot this data really, really quickly by specifying dot plot x is equal to, I'm going to call the index 0 for my x values and the y equals 1 for that. Run that. Okay, so it's done something, but it hasn't plotted anything, and the reason for that is I need to import my matplotlib module there, okay, and I also need to use the command plt.show after I've plotted that graph. Okay, run that. There you go. For some reason, Jupyter Notebook always likes to do 2 when you do this for the very first time. So I'm going to run that file, that line again, and there you go. There's my data. Right, that's as much as I'm going to talk about in this. Next time, I'm going to talk about how to make these graphs look awesome. And then beyond that, we are into curve fitting territory. So there's a couple of videos in there, I think. That's enough for right now. I'm going for my breakfast.